The atmosphere surrounding the Intuit Dome on May 16th is thick with the scent of rebellion, a palpable, electric tension that has absolutely nothing to do with the physical mechanics of mixed martial arts and everything to do with the invisible, billionaire hand that quietly engineered this entire cultural explosion. While the mainstream sports media is frantically obsessing over ring rust, octagon geometry, and the biological decay of aging fighters, they are completely missing the terrifying, hidden political. But if you aggressively peel back the layers of corporate contracts, non-disclosure agreements, and Silicon Valley power plays, you will find that the true architect of the Rousey versus Carano collision is not a fight promoter, a Hollywood agent, or a streaming executive. The silent, invisible godfather of this entire spectacle is Elon Musk. To understand why the richest man on the planet has quietly inserted himself into the blood sport business, you have to stop viewing this event as a prize fight and start viewing it as the most expensive, high-stakes weapon in the global war over free speech. This is not just a cage match. It is a meticulously constructed, multi-million-dollar middle finger to the corporate establishment, funded by X, broadcast by Netflix, and fought by the woman who became the patient zero of modern cancel culture. To see the strings being pulled, we have to violently rewind the tape to the darkest moment of Gina Carano's professional life. In early 2021, Carano was not just fired from The Mandalorian, she was systematically erased from the cultural conversation. Disney and Lucasfilm did not simply terminate her contract, they issued a scorching public statement labeling her social media posts as abhorrent, effectively branding her as a radioactive pariah in Hollywood. Her agency dropped her, her publicists fled, and the entire entertainment industry collectively agreed that Gina Carano would never work in a meaningful capacity again. In the traditional physics of Hollywood, this is where the story ends. The celebrity apologizes, disappears into obscurity, and is never heard from again. But Gina Carano did not apologize, and she did not disappear. Instead, she found a lifeline in the most unexpected, chaotic place imaginable. A tweet from Elon Musk. When Musk publicly announced that X would fund the legal bills of anyone unfairly treated by their employers due to their activity on his platform, most people viewed it as a typical, blusterous Musk promise that would vanish into the ether. But for Carano, it was a literal war chest. Musk did not just write a check for a lawyer, he handed her a terrifying, unlimited budget to wage a scorched earth legal war against the most powerful entertainment monopoly on Earth. This is the exact moment where Elon Musk transformed from a passive observer into the silent promoter of the May 16th superfight. By funding Carano's wrongful termination lawsuit against Disney, Musk did something far more valuable than simply paying her bills. He artificially kept her name in the headlines, rebranding her from a failed actress into a free speech martyr. He utilized the massive algorithmic power of X to constantly amplify her story, ensuring that she remained a relevant, polarizing, and highly visible cultural figure despite having no active screen roles. Without Elon Musk's intervention, Gina Carano would likely be teaching Muay Thai seminars in a strip mall in Las Vegas right now, completely forgotten by the mainstream zeitgeist. There would be no Netflix deal, no 8-figure payday, and absolutely no interest from Ronda Rousey. Rousey, a savvy businesswoman in her own right, understands the currency of attention better than anyone. She would never have signed a contract to fight a washed-up, irrelevant pioneer. She signed the contract because Musk's legal and cultural machinery had successfully rehabilitated Carano's brand, transforming her into a symbol of defiance that half the country is desperate to support. The fight is technically being promoted by MVP and Netflix, but the audience, the narrative, and the sheer cultural weight of the event were entirely manufactured in the laboratories of X Corp. The genius of Musk's involvement lies in its plausible deniability. He does not need his logo on the canvas or his face on the poster to reap the rewards. His platform X has become the exclusive, unsterilized town square, where the hype for this fight is truly living and breathing. While traditional outlets like ESPN and Disney-owned networks are hesitant to fully embrace Carano due to their corporate entanglements, X has become the de facto home base for the event's promotion. Every viral clip, every controversial interview, and every heated debate about the fight is generating massive engagement numbers on Musk's platform, proving his thesis that X is the only place where real conversations can happen without corporate censorship. He has effectively tricked the entire combat sports world into producing content for his platform, using the fight as a massive, live case study for his free speech crusade. He is proving that you can bypass the traditional Hollywood gatekeepers, survive a corporate cancellation, and come out the other side more famous, more wealthy, and more dangerous than ever before, provided you have a billionaire backing your play. There is also a deeply personal, petty, and highly vindictive element to Musk's shadow involvement that cannot be ignored. We know that Elon Musk holds grudges, and his feud with the traditional media establishment, specifically Disney, is well documented. Disney was one of the first major advertisers to publicly boycott X following Musk's takeover, a move that Musk publicly told them to go fuck themselves over in a viral interview. By secretly propelling Gina Carano back into the mainstream spotlight, Musk is executing a brilliant, chaotic revenge plot against the Mouse House. He is taking the exact woman Disney tried to destroy, funding her survival, and helping her land a massive payday on a rival streaming platform that directly competes with Disney+. Every single subscription dollar that Netflix generates from this fight is a dollar that isn't going to the company that fired her. It is a proxy war fought in a cage, with Musk using Carano as a battering ram to damage Disney's reputation and prove that their power to cancel talent is no longer absolute. He is sending a chilling message to every studio executive in Hollywood. If you fire someone for their speech, I will not only sue you, I will make them a star. Partnership with Netflix is another fascinating layer of this hidden conspiracy. While Musk and Netflix have no formal ownership ties, they share a common enemy in the legacy media gatekeepers. Netflix, much like X, prides itself on being a disruptor. By hosting a fight featuring a canceled star, Netflix is signaling that it is willing to touch the radioactive content that Disney and ESPN are too terrified to handle. Musk likely views Netflix as a useful idiot in this equation, a platform large enough to host the spectacle he engineered, but desperate enough for live sports content to ignore the political baggage. It is a marriage of convenience between Silicon Valley tech disruption and streaming dominance, leaving the traditional cable giants and the UFC completely on the outside looking in. Dana White, who usually controls the narrative of every major fight, is powerless here because the money and the machinery are coming from a tax bracket that even the UFC cannot bully. You cannot intimidate Elon Musk, and you cannot threaten to blacklist a fighter who is already being bankrolled by the owner of the town square. But the most terrifying implication of Musk's secret role is what it means for the future of athlete empowerment. If this model works, if a canceled athlete can be resurrected by a tech billionaire and inserted into a massive, independent superfight, it permanently breaks the stranglehold that leagues like the UFC and studios like Disney have over their talent. It creates a new, chaotic economy where controversy is no longer a career death sentence, but a verifiable asset that can be monetized by the right backer. Elon Musk is essentially beta testing a new form of celebrity protection racket. He is saying to every athlete, actor, and public figure, say whatever you want. If they fire you, come to X. We will fund your lawsuit, we will amplify your voice, and we will find a way to monetize your cancellation. Gina Carano is simply the proof of concept. If she walks out of the Intuit Dome with a massive check and a renewed career, Musk will have successfully proven that he has the power to overrule the entire Hollywood ecosystem. As you watch Ronda Rousey stare across the cage at Gina Carano on May 16th, do not be fooled into thinking this is just a fight between two women. You are watching a proxy war between two distinct eras of media control. On one side, you have the ghosts of the old guard, Disney, the UFC, the traditional agencies, who believe they have the right to dictate who is allowed to be famous. On the other side, you have the chaotic, unregulated, billionaire-funded disruption of Elon Musk, who believes that fame should be a free market commodity, regardless of ideology. Rousey is the unwitting soldier in this war, a legend of the old era stepping into the arena of the new. But Carano is the weapon. She is the living, breathing, punching embodiment of Elon Musk's worldview. And win or lose, the moment that bell rings, Elon Musk has already won. He has successfully hijacked a massive cultural event to serve his own narrative, embarrassed his corporate enemies, and proven that in the year 2026, the only promoter that truly matters is the one who controls the algorithm. The final, lingering question is whether Musk will actually show his face on fight night. Rumors are swirling that he has purchased a massive block of ringside seats, not for celebrities or influencers, but for the canceled outcasts of the entertainment world, a visual representation of his new island of misfit toys. If Musk walks Gina Carano to the cage, or even simply sits in the front row wearing that knowing smirk, it will be the final confirmation that this was never about Muay Thai or Judo. It was always about power. It was about proving that he can take a broken toy that Disney threw in the trash and turn it into the most valuable action figure on the planet. The silent promoter is silent no more. His signature is written in invisible ink on every single contract, tweet, and pay-per-view buy that fuels this historic, chaotic fire. But to truly understand the depth of Musk's strategic genius in this scenario, we must look beyond the immediate political theater and examine the financial architecture of the future he is building. By creating a direct pipeline from cancellation to monetization, Musk is effectively building a parallel entertainment economy. He has realized that there is a massive, underserved market of consumers who feel alienated by the sanitized, corporate-approved narratives of mainstream media. These consumers are not just looking for entertainment, they are looking for validation. They want to see their perceived martyrs succeed. By aligning himself with Carano, Musk taps directly into this vein of resentment and loyalty. He transforms a simple sports broadcast into a referendum on cultural values. When millions of people tune in to watch Carano fight, they aren't just watching a sporting event, they are casting a vote against the system that tried to silence her. Musk understands this psychological mechanism better than anyone. He knows that outrage is the most potent fuel for engagement, and by positioning himself as the patron saint of the outraged, he ensures that X remains the central nervous system of the culture war. Consider the timing of the lawsuit settlement in August 2025. It was not a quiet, backroom deal. It was a calculated media event. Carano publicly thanked Musk, reinforcing the narrative that he was her savior. This was the opening salvo of the promotional campaign for the fight, months before a contract was even signed. It primed the audience, alerting them that Carano was back, she was funded, and she was ready for war. The lawsuit was never just about wrongful termination. It was a year-long marketing campaign designed to keep Carano's name in the algorithm until the fight could be made. It was a masterclass in long-term narrative construction. Most fight promoters of Ronda Rousey in this equation. While Musk may not be directly funding her, his ecosystem benefits immensely from her participation. Rousey brings the mainstream credibility, the legacy, and the casual eyeballs that Carano alone could not deliver. But why would Rousey, who has largely stayed out of political crossfires, agree to this? The answer is simple. The numbers. The engagement metrics on X surrounding Carano are astronomical. Rousey's team, looking at the data, would have seen an opportunity for the biggest payday of her life. They realized that fighting the villain of the corporate media story makes Rousey the de facto hero for one side and the target for the other. It creates the perfect storm of interest. In a way, Musk's rehabilitation of Carano increased Rousey's market value. He created a worthy adversary out of thin air, giving Rousey the foil she needed to sell a blockbuster. Without the Musk intervention, Rousey versus Carano is a fun nostalgia fight. With the Musk intervention, it is a cultural event. The ramifications of this strategy extend far beyond the cage. If this event is a financial success, it sends a terrifying signal to corporate HR departments everywhere. It suggests that the threat of cancellation has lost its teeth. If an employee can be fired for abhorrent speech, only to be picked up by a billionaire given a global platform and paid millions of dollars, then the deterrent effect of firing them is completely nullified. In fact, it might encourage more polarizing behavior. Athletes and actors might start calculating that being controversial is actually a better career move than being safe, provided they can catch the eye of the anti-woke economy. Musk is essentially disrupting the risk/reward calculus of public behavior. He is introducing a safety net for volatility. This fight is the first major stress test of that safety net. If it holds, the floodgates open. We could see a wave of canceled stars signing deals with X-adjacent ventures, creating a rogue league of entertainers who operate entirely outside the traditional rules of PR. Furthermore, look at the integration of technology in this event. Rumors suggest that X will be hosting exclusive real-time stats, alternate camera angles, or perhaps a free speech commentary track during the fight, features that Netflix might not natively offer. Musk could use this fight to showcase X's video capabilities, driving traffic from the Netflix broadcast to his platform for the real experience. It creates a symbiotic relationship where Netflix provides the polished, high-definition feed, while X provides the raw, unfiltered community experience. This dual-screen dominance is the holy grail of modern media. Musk doesn't need to own the broadcast rights to own the conversation. He just needs to ensure that the most interesting part of the event is happening on his app. By controlling the narrative leading up to the fight, he ensures that the conversation during the fight happens on his turf. The sheer audacity of this plan is breathtaking. It requires a level of capital and disregard for social norms that only someone like Musk possesses. A traditional promoter would be terrified of the blowback. They would be worried about advertisers pulling out, about protests, about bad press. Musk welcomes the bad press. He feeds on it. Every angry article written about Carano's return is just free advertising for the event. Every boycott threat is a rallying cry for his base. He has completely inverted the traditional PR crisis model. Crisis is not a problem to be managed. It is a resource to be mined. And on May 16th, he is going to mine it for everything it is worth. Ultimately, when the history books are written about this era of media, this fight might be seen as a turning point. It might be the moment where the monolithic power of legacy media finally fractured, not because of a new technology, but because one man with enough money decided to weaponize a single lawsuit. Gina Carano is the gladiator in the arena, but Elon Musk is the emperor in the box, giving the thumbs up or thumbs down. The crowd is cheering, the money is flowing, and the old gods of Hollywood are watching in horror as their excommunication orders are raised. Pay close attention to the social media reaction. Watch the victory laps on X. Watch the seething op-eds in the traditional press. That division, that friction, is exactly what Musk paid for. He purchased chaos. And in the modern attention economy, chaos is the most valuable commodity of all. The secret promoter has put on the show of a lifetime, and we are all, willingly or unwillingly, sitting in the front row. The bell rings, the fighters clash, and somewhere in a glass office, Elon Musk leans back and watches the metrics climb, knowing that he has once again changed the game by simply refusing to play by anyone else's rules.